Fence fam, what is up? Welcome to this Taco Tuesday. We are live here again, bringing the heat to you guys. In the famous Dan Wheelers, we're bringing a banger today. So, Robert, what's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
Good. We're just trying to stay afloat up here in Indiana because we've had some massive flooding going on. So it's been insane, really. But
send some of that rain down here, man. It is 110. It is dry. It's hot. We're tired.
Yeah, that's no good. For those of you who don't know, obviously you guys see the color purple all over social media, and that's this guy. Before we get rolling into stuff, why did you pick purple?
Man, there's a bunch of reasons why I picked purple. The long story short is we're in Fort Worth, Texas, and purple is the TCU color, and that was the most common sense. But as I started working through the name for Purple Coaching, I had a lot of really cool names like Elevate and Pivot and stuff like that, and it just didn't feel authentic. And Matt Lowry used to always call me the Purple People Teacher. And I said, why am I trying to overcomplicate this? And this is almost anything we do in business. We just make things way too complex. And so I named it purple because purple has the royalty and wealth and independence and all these different things that can be used for good or for bad or for evil. And I want to be able to multiply the good, and I want to share the word of that. And so anyways, I was talking to Stephen Covey, and he said, Robert, I believe you picked purple because the Democrats are blue and the Republicans are red, and you're great at bringing people to at least have a discussion and not divide. And I got to thinking about that, and I was talking to John Maxwell, and he said, have you seen the cover of my High Road Leadership book? And I said, there's red and purple on there. He said, Robert, our goal is to just keep people from disrespecting and dividing. If we can just bring them to the table to a discussion. And so I tell my mom this story, and she goes, well, I just figured it was because Michael wore blue and you wore red as twins, and that made purple. And so you pick whatever it stood for, but it was definitely intended to be on my chest and on my wall and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a lot of different ways that to come up with that. Which you went to TCU, right?
No, I went to Texas Tech, but I took a marketing class. My twin brother, the other story is my twin brother owned Mean Green Lawn and Landscape, wore red shirts. And I said, buddy, you missed this completely. Mean Green is a small university outside of Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah. He didn't go there. And he said, but the largest landscape company in the world wears red shirts. And at that time, I was super egotistical. And I said, well, I don't want to copy them. We'll be second best. I would much rather be second best than where we're at today. But nonetheless, we wear purple everywhere we go. And the way that we find all this purple is we just simply write whatever we're wanting to find in Amazon and then put purple on it. And poof, it shows up. So anyways, there's Matt Lowry. He's on right now. And Matt is probably the reason why I'm wearing purple is because I'm the Purple People Teacher, and he claims that. So,
which we do have Amanda in the house from CA. Happy Taco Tuesday, friends. Amanda, hello.
Man, they're great, and I tell you, purple and blue look great together. Contractor Accelerator has really leaned into all the leadership stuff that we're doing, and boy, do we look good together. So I'm glad that we get to do life together, Amanda, and Sean has got a lot going on too. I seen him in the fence group.
Yep. Sean says, what's up, Robert? Great hanging out with you at the fence group.
Man,
Cloudland.
Cloudland. Yeah, man, when he came on the scene, and maybe he has always been on the scene, but for me, and I told him this, I said, hey buddy, at first you came in with intensity and I thought you were going to fizzle out. You're the real deal. You're extremely authentic. I need to get to know you because you're just a good guy, good human. And he continues to just show up with joy and happiness, man. He's a awesome guy to have on your side.
He is a good dude. And then now we got Shane Catton said, what up? Live from Harry and Izzy's downtown.
Yeah.
Are we on the big TV down there? Shane, can you get us share the screen on there?
Yeah.
Matt Lowry's here saying that's the dog father.
Dog.
And then he said PPT, baby.
Yeah. Oh no, Dan Wheeler's fact checking top 25. Okay, got it. Anyways,
Top 25. That's crazy.
well, Dan, I don't know if you've seen what Texas Tech did, but I guess apparently we admitted that we were betting against ourselves on games in the quarterback. We still let him come back, and then he, I think, ended up leaving. I don't know. So
Yeah.
whatever. We're in a recovery season, so
Yeah.
we're gonna go. I don't know. Root for like. Well, I love all my Oklahoma people, so I guess is this when I say I go for OU and OSU? Maybe I don't know. So, anyways,
It's kind of crazy, really, your guys' quarterback, because you guys paid him a lot of money to come there. And then he's like, hey, I've been betting this whole time on games. I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah,
Like, you couldn't have waited one more year to tell everybody that?
yeah, awful.
Amanda says purple and blue looks excellent together, especially on that sprint car.
Oh, dude. So we're going to go race in the 305 Nationals in Lincoln, Nebraska, September 3rd through the 5th. So if anybody's in the area or want to meet us up there, Matt Warner with Empire and USS and everybody is sponsored with Amanda. And we're all going to rally up there. Believe it or not, there's a ton of sprint car drivers in the fence world. Dan Turbeville drove it until he flipped it. Adam with Mule Fencing, same story. I told Dakota, I said, hey man, run it into the wall and let's sell the trailer, and end up buying a purple boat. So he's going to work on that this week, this coming week. So I would love to see everybody at the 305 Nationals in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we can go what Matt Warner would say is have a hootenanny at the BOR. So there we go.
And Sean, don't worry, we'll get to this part here in just a little bit.
He promised me that this year he's coming. So now you're
really
stuck, buddy. I will find you.
Dude, Sean's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He promised me first.
But before we get going in that, obviously everybody knows you as the purple coach, right? Purple people teacher. I always think of purple people eaters, the Minnesota Vikings back in the day.
Yeah.
So you've kind of stepped away from Magnolia, your fence company, a little bit. Can you kind of tell us why you stepped away from that?
Yeah. I can tell you, if you don't get out of the way, then the people that are trying to get where you are at will eventually go away too. And so, I've got Dakota and Matt and Christine, and they're fully capable of running a fence and patio construction company. And where they're not capable, that's the gap that I need to close. And so the best thing to do is step out, figure out what the leaks are, and go plug them with, trainings and teachings and mentorship. And so, what I realized over the last couple of years, because we've been really stuck at the $7 to $8 million mark. One of the first podcasts I came on, that's what I was known for. I did $8 million, took like 18% to the bottom line. And people say, I want to do what you do. And that's how they contacted me. And that's how Purple Coaching came about. And the thing is we continue to take profit to the bottom line, where our systems keep proving that we can do it with pretty much anybody that we bring on staff. And we do it easier and easier every year, but we struggle with growth. And so this year in particular, I leaned back in and said, hey, I've never taught y'all how to grow. And like, this is like, if y'all haven't read the book, Hunters in a Farmer's World, like I didn't have hunters on staff. They weren't complacent. They just didn't know what it looked like to get into a dogfight. And so I spent the first 6 months or the first 5.5 months teaching people what it looked like to grow. And then once you do the teaching, you have to get out of the way and let it work itself out, learn a little and do a little. And so May 15th was my last day at Magnolia Fence and Patio. And I haven't been back since, except for to set the vision. We did a mid-year event, and allowing Matt and Dakota and Christine to lead their people well. And it's so funny, Craig. I'm like, yeah, we never have blowouts and our customers are always happy. And Dakota's like, huh? And what I realize is that they're taking care of business. They're doing such a great job. And Michael had mentioned to me, said, hey, you're our culture setter, and our culture got off a little bit. And so I leaned in for a little bit and made sure that not only were we trying to grow the business, but we also grew the culture. And I talk about that a lot on the Campfire Conversations. And what culture looks like is the standard you're willing to accept or tolerate. And so you either tolerate or create it. And so I told the team, I said, these are my standards. for our business, and they're yours as well because you've lived them for years. And so here we are. So May 15th to today, we had a huge month in May, huge month. June, July, we had really bad months. The sales were down, stuff like that. I don't know if it was anyone's real fault. And we're having an awesome August. And you can almost see that you got to go down before you go up.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't panic under pressure. The team understood the objective. At the mid-year meeting, we reset some revenue goals, and we just basically said, like, hey, since this is crazy, Craig. So we wanted to go to 10.5 million. And I said, hey, team, do you guys want to go to 10.5 million? They go, yeah, we'll figure it out. I said, or y'all want to go to 8.5 million? Happy. And they're like, well, what's the catch? I was like, we just got to increase our price by 2%. And we got to decrease our overhead by 1%. And we've literally made the exact same profitability. And they go, we can do 8.5 million or 10.5 and make the same money. I said, yeah. Here's the catch though, Craig. And I think a lot of people don't catch this in the comments even. That's $2 million worth of people we're not serving. And we are a referral and repeat based business. We don't pay for marketing or advertising. So $2 million worth of people we could have met won't meet us. So that just means we're going to have to put in extra networking and relationship building down the road. But in the meantime, we do get to capture our same $1.6 million in profit. So anyways, that's the rundown.
So I got two questions off of that. You remember how I told you things just pop up in my mind?
Yeah.
So two parts of that. One, and I'm pretty sure on the last podcast you're on with me, didn't you say that you guys used to do like margarita machines or something when you were younger?
Yeah, I actually just made a timeline today. I went through all the peaks and valleys of my life, and yeah.
So my question is, so obviously you had landscape company, you had the margarita business. What made you decide to do the fence business, and what made that one stick compared to others? And then part two of that is, at what point in that fence business were you like, was there like a one moment where you're like, man, I need to start teaching people this?
Yeah. So I went to school for marketing and management. Marketing, they didn't put us on the internet. So as you guys can imagine, that is no longer relevant. And management's not a thing either. It's leadership. So nailed it, right?
Yeah.
But I owned a landscape company, a mowing company in college, as well as I owned a party business. The party business was like smoke your own stash. I just wanted to have fun with people and celebrate. I thought it could have been a real business, but the reality, the quality of life that is, like you're serving people when they're having fun, and that's when you should be having fun too. But it was a season. I really enjoyed it. We actually had like foam parties and stuff. I was a club promoter and stuff, so maybe that's why I can get people to event. It was a crazy time, but
hold on. Are there pictures of you in like a foam party and stuff?
Oh yeah, Michael will pull that up and he'll do a good job. Yeah, I was DJ Wacky Whittaker, man. We had officiants on staff, and anyways, so that was just a season. We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
My company was called Party Paradise. Michael's was Margarita Extreme, and we had a good time. But I sold the mowing business and then basically inherited it back because the guy let it run to the ground. And so I had like, I don't know, 50 yards. I was graduating college and I didn't really have a plan. I wanted to go into a skyscraper and live out of a purple suitcase. Like that's what I wanted to do. But I had a reason to stay in Lubbock at the time. And so I didn't really have a really solid plan. So we started cutting grass. I looked over and somebody threw their phone at their windshield, cracked it or whatever. I say, hey, what's going on? He goes, you can just have my mowing company, just like that. I was like, huh? Anyways, I've posted about this woman a few times. Her name is Mindy, and she was an apartment manager. The guy was mowing 3 apartments, and Mindy was introduced to me by saying, hey, your lawn guy just gave me your account. And she just believed in me, man. And she just kept pouring into me, but she kept giving me construction projects. And she because grass doesn't really grow in Lubbock. Actually, in fact, we were constantly planting fake plants because nothing grew. And she would give me these construction projects. And I just thoroughly loved them because, in Lubbock, plants didn't grow or grass wouldn't grow. And it was awful. But like fences would deteriorate or people would hit light poles or whatever else. And so Mindy's the reason why I really got into construction. And I remember pretty clearly when I moved down to Fort Worth that I was like, if you plant plants, that's you got to tell a client to wait for it to grow. But if you build a fence, it's the best it's ever going to look right then and there. And what a cool way to just say, here's your finished product. And fences just made sense because it was kind of the next easy move to get into the landscaping world. We took fences down for landscape, getting sod trucks and stuff in. But I can tell you this much: there was no and anybody who claims that they found a need in the market, I'd call BS. At least not your first business. Because what I would have done was I would have found a business that had a way bigger multiplier when you go to sell it. Because fence and patio companies are like 3 to 5x multipliers. Tech companies are 12 to 20. Pest controls 12 to 20. I'd find a bigger multiplier. Number one. And so, anyways, I just said, how can I make quick cash with low cost buy-in? And I've got an awesome mom, and she probably would have helped bankroll some of this. But the reality is, Michael and I did it from ground up, man. We went into a lot of debt. Actually, our story's kind of like FedEx. We haven't shared this much. Anytime we couldn't make payroll, we'd just go to the casino. And if you ever follow the FedEx story, that guy did that. He didn't know how to pay a fuel bill. The challenge was when Michael and I would win, it never ended back up in the business bank account. And so anyways, y'all don't play with y'all's company's money that way. That was a season. So,
so then at what point, so then now you have the fence company, and then at what point in the fence company where you're like, man, I need to start teaching people how to do what we've learned over these years?
Yeah. I've always wanted to be a consultant of some sort. What's up, Jay? I've always wanted to be a consultant, but the reality is very few people are going to listen to somebody that doesn't have gray hair. And if you've ever heard the parable of the man in the arena, people will listen to people that are in the arena. And I remember several people would reach out to me and say, hey, I want to do what you do. And I'd give them advice based off what they share with me. And then I would almost always have to follow up, which is a telltale sign it didn't work. And I would start getting frustrated, either thinking maybe I just got lucky, or they're not good students, or I'm a bad teacher. And I started realizing that people were giving me their symptoms, and I was prescribing to their symptoms instead of getting to the root of it. They were giving me a lagging indicator instead of a leading. And so here's what I found out, Craig. People want to do what I do, but they don't want to do what I did. People want to do what I do, but they don't want to do what I did. And there's trade-offs in this.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't have uphill dreams and downhill habits. And I can tell you right now that a lot of what all of us do, the people in the chat and the you and I's, you'll never see it because we do it in the dark. We do it without the awards. And so the only way to make sure that I could teach this and lean in and share experiences was if I walked shoulder to shoulder with you. And that's when I found out, Craig, how lonely leadership was. That really majority of the people that were calling me had some answers, but they were just lonely. They needed to have somebody to walk with them. And so that's what we do. We run into burning buildings together. Ryan, we've ran into some burning buildings with him. Man, he is freaking just on fire. I want to give him a quick shout out. His father-in-law has got one of the largest fencing companies, at least in Texas. And Ryan is a self-made man. I don't want to share his whole story because that's for another day. They'd be a great guy to get on the podcast. He embraced the suck, and his father-in-law is unbelievably proud of him. There were no handouts given. Ryan, in a small town, is absolutely embraced the suck, and he does it with a smile on his face. And what I love about him too is he makes time for things he loves, like boating. I can see him and his family jumping on the boat, and Ryan's building a business that he loves. I love it. I love it, Ryan. I'm glad that you jumped on, buddy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously, to talk about the leadership stuff a little bit, in our industry. So would you say that, because I know you're probably outside of the fence industry a little bit too as well, but in our industry, so are you mostly now coaching more of just the owners, or are you going in and kind of helping with the entire business and teaching installation stuff and helping them with that? Or is it just all strictly leadership stuff?
Yeah, Michael definitely can help more with the tactical, practical stuff. He can do leadership stuff, but I mean, he's the hands-on guy.
Mhm.
And there's the Sean Kings and there's the AFA schools and the FWAs. There's plenty of that out there. I know SWI has a great podcast as well. And hey, what's up, Justin? Justin's willing to lend advice anyway. So what I want to do is I want to work with leaders. I want to show people their potential and I want to get people out of their own way. I want to teach people to have tough conversations. I think clarity is not cruel. And the more clarity you can provide, the more progress we can make together. And so I'm working with owners. I'm working with a lot of number twos right now. Owners, I mean, they don't set out a business so they can just run it by themselves, and they typically don't have the bandwidth to mentor their number twos the way they want. And so, what I've been spending a lot of time recently, I found pretty impactful is these masterminds, just getting like-minded people together and do micro learning, and that's been really interesting. Craig, I know we've done some coaching together, and the challenge was you knew what needed to be done, but you didn't have the resources to get it done. And when we catch another coaching call, I'd be like, well, I didn't do that because I couldn't do that or whatever it was. And you just needed to have enough time in between sessions or whatever. And so what we found is microdosing or micro learning is one of the best ways to do it. And so Matt's been on our mastermind. Matt Munson's been on our mastermind. All these people have been on our mastermind at some capacity. And it's like, are you willing to compound your results with small incremental improvements? And here's what I found recently over the last couple of years. You can make a great business, but it's not sustainable if the people that are in your business aren't growing. And so like my challenge to anybody in the comments is show me your personal development plan. Show me your growth plan. Like show me your intentional growth plan. And so that's where I've been spending a lot of my time lately, Craig, is actually helping business owners put together growth plans. And then I'm the leader, the advocate for that growth plan, mastermind, or through, we're doing this 52 business basics for anybody who has seen me post a little bit about it. I want to do 52 calls with 52 practical, tactical things that will make your business better in a year. 52. And I've worked my butt off on this the last 6 months. And I've found that each one of these can be done in 7 days or less, no matter how busy your schedule is. And for those that are seasoned pros that need to get back to the basics, I have a more advanced basics. So I call it build it or multiply it. So if you've never created a core value, just create the core values. That's the build it. If you have core values but never use it, then I have a prompt for how to use it for the next 7 days. And so it's really interesting. So some of them are even like just schedule 3 workouts. Like you're like, what does that have to do with business? I can tell you right now, movement is medicine for the mind. Movement is medicine for the mind. And I just got back from Mount Rainier. And I can tell you right now, like I have more ideas, more clarity, and I'm communicating better to my team than I ever have because I put my body into motion. And so anyways, that's really what I've been doing lately. And I think I'm going to probably do some of that, to be totally honest. And Sean King and I, we go back and forth. Sean's been knocked on having these groups. And I was like, no, I'm going to do one-to-one coaching. Man, you learn so much more in conversation than you do in information. And if the group isn't for you, you might be in a season, and I get that. But the reality is if you have a great facilitator, somebody who really knows how to keep people on target and on track with a clear objective, group coaching is probably one of the prosperous, because at the end of the day, even if you don't get anything from the call, you get to do life together with friends. Yeah. And I know several of these people on here personally because they did it with me. So anyways, that's where I'm at on life. So that I can coach at any capacity. I'm also becoming a turnaround CEO. A lot of people call me because it hurts enough they have to. They got to get out of debt. They got to restructure debt. They need somebody to go into the bank, beat them up. They need me to use my leverage at a vendor that they might have lack of leverage, and just say, hey, I'm betting on this guy. I'm betting on this guy. So I can be a multi-tool, a Swiss Army knife.
So my question is, when you talk about some of those other coaches or just, YouTube, whatever, obviously if someone hires, someone to teach them to do installation, we know what it looks like right? Like if they go and install, we know that they learned how to install. Now they're doing it that way. How do you know when someone learns leadership?
Oh man, you got to be a lifelong learner. So, I mean, second you learn it, you got to relearn it, and that's like the beauty of what's going on right now. Humans are constantly changing, and so we're never done. Maybe I take them as far as I can take them, and they need new perspectives. But yeah, the poor Sean, man, once he teaches somebody how to use the equalizer, he's done. You don't need him anymore. But people are going to be people. And if you look at anything in your life, people are the most complicated part of it. And they're also the best part about it. They're also the best part. And so I think there's two things going on in our world right now, people and AI. Now, people have been the same for 5,000 years. So if I could teach you to get a little better with people, we at least got that figured out. By the time you get AI figured out, it's already changed. And so if you guys are struggling with keeping up with AI, let me get you caught up with some people. And here's the thing that you could do most with people is to have talk straight, real conversations. And so that's where I know when people are growing is when people stop hiding their expectations. I've been quoted on this. If unspoken expectations is premeditated resentment. And so if I can teach people to speak out their expectation, we no longer have resentment that's premeditated. Unspoken expectations, premeditated resentment. Say what you want to say. That's it. So that's when I know people are growing. And Kevin, yeah, you do know when they don't learn it. And that's something else too, though. I mean, you got to always show up because you never know when the student wants to actually learn. And when the student learns, the teacher always appears. I've been going to Maxwell stuff for 13 years, but for the last 4 or 5, it's gotten really sticky because I got tired of trying to do it on my own. The man has been doing leadership for 50 years. Why wouldn't I listen to him? But if anybody knows about the compounding penny, this thing takes time and you don't see change. You can't go to the gym for 24 hours straight and expect results. You build muscle and rest. And so we've got to learn a little and do a little, learn a little and do a little. So,
fun fact, I started taking creatine this week. So, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Which I got a question about Maxwell, which I have 2 questions here, but I'll let you answer this first one. With Maxwell, what did he do before like the books and stuff like that? Like,
yeah.
Do you know how did he get into this whole teaching leadership thing?
Yeah, his dad was a pastor, and so that was the career path he had. And at 28 years old, he took over one of the fastest growing churches in America, and he was not equipped to lead. And he bought this $800 cassette on leadership, and he tells a story. I was in his office at his home, and he showed me this green cassette tape. It was really cool, and he bet on his leadership, man. He bet on his leadership. He learned leadership, and at 28 years old, he was called by God to just lead people and commit to leadership. And he just celebrated 50 years of teaching leadership, 50 years of teaching the exact same thing. And I was talking to him just recently, actually. He didn't have anybody that showed up that cared to listen, but he believed in it so much. And here we are now. You can't hardly find a management book on the shelves, but this guy is selling leadership books left and right. He's a man of character because leading people requires you to get to know them, and that takes work. And when Maxwell, when he was 28 years old, 50 years ago, we were just getting out of the Rockefeller era, and this is how schools are designed, and this is how the Industrial Revolution found people to work for them. And so we're in a different world. Craig, this is crazy. 42% of people are no longer employed like they generally are. And they're saying in the next 5 to 10 years that there's going to be more individual work style, like a Turo, Airbnb, stuff like where people are going to be self-employed. But they're still going to work for corporations. It's just going to look different. And so people need to be led different. And that's where my friend Stephen Covey comes in, and you can no longer command and control people. You just cannot. It does not work. It's never worked, in fact, but people didn't have endless options. So they just accepted it. They complied, and we thought they were leaning in. But now that you have endless options, like Craig, I could work for you full time right now, remote, because of technology today. So you no longer can tell me what to do and how to do it and put your thumb on me, because I can just then go to Kevin or Jay or Ryan And so we have to lead better. We have to create an environment people can't wait to go to work to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't go to Justin Neri though. So.
Oh, Justin. Yeah. I actually had a call with him a day or two ago. I think he's one of the most outstanding humans too.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
That guy will pour from his cup, even if he doesn't know something else is pouring back into his cup. That guy will always serve before being served. He's a good cat. Good cat.
No, he is. So I want to ask too that you've talked about the gap between your style and your intent a lot, like the difference between who you were trying to be and how people actually experience you. Where do you think the biggest gap is right now in that?
Yeah, I think my charisma still masks some of my mechanics or maybe my energy and charisma can make up for some of the lack of I don't know, research or clarity on a subject, right? I can go in a room with very limited knowledge and get people energized, and half the time I'm like, oh man, I hope they got it because I'm not even sure what I was saying. But I can tell you this much: I'm still an overshare. And so my intent is to let people into my life and share my transparency so we can go together. But the reality is, some people tell me I'm a little intense. I'm going through a divorce, and at mid-year we spent probably half a day on it through the 3 days. And I said, hey guys, what are your questions? And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you realize this is going to affect the business. This is not only going to financially cripple the business at some capacity, but it's taking me out of the game. I'm not returning back to work until after the divorce is done. So it's taking me out of the game. And I know that I've probably had zero tolerance for things that I typically do have tolerance for. And so like, what are your questions? And my team has been, conditioned for this now. But if you're new to the organization, you're like, whoa, is that guy just trauma dumping? That's not the case at all. And so my intent is to share so that way we can work together. But sometimes I overshare, including the ones that I love. I share stories on my son all the time, and I realize that I maybe don't even have permission to share it, but I know that if I share that story, I can have a father resonate with that and go lean in on their kid. Yeah. So I'm doing it for the right reasons. So
with your personal life and stuff going on, Purple Coaching, Magnolia, did that kind of weigh in a little bit on stepping away from Magnolia because of everything else going on in life, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to hire Matt Swallock a year ago. He worked at Halco for nearly 20 years, and he's a high capacity leader. And I love the book, Who Not How. And so Matt runs a different business than I do. And if I believed in him when I hired him and I trusted him and hired him, why wouldn't I get out of the way? I think perfect timing. And so he runs my fence division. Dakota runs my construction division. Anybody who knows Dakota knows that he is fully capable and he has fun doing it, which makes it even more fun. And then I have Christine. And Christine is just like the glue that holds us all together. And she sneaks in little hidden text messages to me to make sure that, we hit the right buttons. But then I have Jordan and Colin that are phenomenal sales guys, phenomenal. But not only that, they're phenomenal servants to my clients and to my vendors and to each other. They cheerlead each other. And I got Tim, who's been around for a while. It's just perfect timing. But the reality is you can't do all things. What you focus on is what you expand on. And so right now I'm going to focus on making sure my family gets out of this in a way that we can learn from it. I'm actually reading this book with a group of people in the mastermind, how to get a return on failure. And the easiest way to get a return on failure is one, be very present. So face what reality is, and then go find the meanings in the messages. And so I'm just trying to be extremely intentional and present, know where my feet are.
Yeah.
So
Matt says, public Rob and on stage Rob is great. Private Rob is even better. He's the real deal.
Thanks, Matt. And Matt and I have a very close one-to-one relationship. And I would encourage people, if you don't have that, it's likely because the phone rings both ways. Matt actually reaches out to me when we don't talk for a while, and he doesn't make me feel guilty about it. Actually, everybody on this call has never made me feel guilty for not reaching out. They know I'm in a season where I need them to carry a little bit more weight in our friendship and relationship. And so, yeah, I hope that everybody gets to care and connect. And that's something else I teach all the time. I probably hear two things more than ever: time management, which is complete bullshit. It's energy management. And I have a whole cool talk on that. And we'll probably do it again in FinTech, because if you have all the time in the world, but no energy, you can't do anything with it. Actually, in fact, hey guys, I got this Garmin watch that's purple, and it told me that my body battery was down to 22 and it was like 130. I was like, I'm going to go take a nap. I had plenty of time today, but I had no energy. And so I went and just took a nap. It was great.
Are you a power napper?
Oh, I can power nap. I don't have to set an alarm or anything. Like, I'm going to sleep for 4 minutes, except for when you're on Mount Rainier and it's 6 o'clock in the evening. They're like, all right, boys and girls, we're going to go to sleep and we're going to wake up in 4 hours and climb hell again. No, you stay up all night. Alex Fencing Unlimited snores louder than you can imagine. So
I didn't think he'd be a snorer.
Oh my gosh. Occasionally I thought he died. He would like choke on his snoring. And I'm like, yes, he died. And then all he was doing was recorrecting. But yeah, dude,
he couldn't bring like a battery powered CPAP machine or anything.
Dude, we were so tired carrying everything we were carrying up there. Yeah. Ryan Sloop gave me some ag pliers. He's like, you take them everywhere. And I'm like, I'm going to take them to Mount Rainier. Ryan, I made it 10,600 feet with them, and then I shedded every ounce out of my bag that I didn't need, and I did not need your pliers. So I left them at camp. Yeah, what a cool time, man.
Yeah. Jeff says, yeah, he wishes you all the best as you navigate this. I think people are looking to have you impact their journey.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you, buddy. He's a good cat. They're all, man, you got good people on your show, man. I guess I need to start going live because I don't even know if they're on because I don't see them. Yeah, Robert, dude, this guy, he's so much fun, man. He
is. DJ Robert Evers.
Yeah. Me and him need to do a showdown at FinTech and see who can do the ones and twos. He's got that radio voice. You and him both, but boy,
yeah, he does. I love watching. I haven't seen him go live in a while. Maybe I missed it, but I used to love watching. He played like some older songs and stuff, and it's relaxing. And it's like, all right, man, I'm just gonna kick back and enjoy this. So
that's
where were we at? Let's see. Yeah, because you were so. I wanted to talk a little bit because a couple times you've brought up Mastermind.
Yeah.
And I see you keep on bringing up a book, or you mention a book. So it sounds like Mastermind is like you guys all read a book together basically. And then what, you just kind of go through it and kind of like put it together in life situations, or how's that work?
Yeah, that would be a book club. And so, when we do go through some books, I have a close relationship with these authors. Yeah. So yes, we're using the book as some framework and accountability, and to get people to just make a commitment. Like, hey, do you sit in silence for an hour and serve yourself reading a book or whatever? And so, like we did Dan Hardy or Benjamin Hardy, Dr. Benjamin Hardy's book, Be Your Future Self Now. Oh my gosh, what a transformational book. Well, I know that gentleman. I know John Maxwell. I know Stephen Covey. I know Chris Robinson. I know Jim Collins. And so I get to take this book, but from their perspectives, I get to use their resources and tools. But the book is, we try and do about 4 books a year. And the cool thing is that once you do it, you can multiply it and hand it out to other people, but the reality is it's the conversations that come from that. And that's where you need me. Anybody can read a book. It's a different experience, but here's some other stuff we do, Craig, is we go throughout the year where other people teach it. Like Amanda gets to teach it, and it's so different than if I would have taught the lesson. So I get to learn from her, but when you're the teacher, oh man, you're the best student. And so we do that. And then in between the books, I do some learning lessons. Like I brought on Alfredo Delgado, and I can't wait for y'all to continue to get to know him. And he's a relationship expert. I brought on Sanger, who knows where to put your money once you know where to put your values, or where your values sit. And so we do more than just that, but the whole mastermind is about personal development and growth. And so like right now it's towards the end of the year, right? I mean, by now, you know, if you succeeded or failed throughout the year. So we're doing how to get a return on failure. So maybe you can run through the finish line instead of being like, I'll get it next year. Like, hey, we still got 3.5 months. Let's freaking get it. Or 4.5 months, whatever, how many months we have. Doesn't matter.
Somewhere around there.
No, nobody cares. Just freaking every day show up. It's not all day, just every day. And so, yeah, we're doing how to get a return on failure. And then I imagine as people are getting into a season of like who to hire for next year, we might do who, not how. Some people might have not seen a lot of growth and it might have felt really complex. And I think when businesses are complex, it's more of like a 2x. But if you want to truly scale, it's 10x. So 10x to 2x, 10x is easier than 2x. And so I'll find some books on what the world needs. But I also find these learning lessons. And then sometimes I'll just speak to what challenges are being faced in this world. So it's an hour to give to yourself. And it blows my mind that most people can't pinpoint 1 hour a week that they're giving to themselves. And think of me as a personal trainer. I've thought through everything. All you have to do is show up. Everybody knows how to lift weights and to time themselves, but that takes unnecessary bandwidth. I've made the decision on what book, how many pages, what we're going to go over. I've structured that because I want you to grow. And so anyways, we're seeing unbelievable growth, lots of great friendships and relationships. And so, yeah, that's a pretty cool deal. So if anybody's interested in the mastermind, it's probably one of the cheapest investments to guarantee personal development and growth. What I've done this year is every company is $2,500 and you can send unlimited people. It's different than what I was doing before, which was per mastermind. It was just a pain in the ass to constantly be selling it and hitting people up. And so it's $2,500 for 2027. 2027, it's $2,500 per company. If you're a one-person individual, then or 1 to 2 people, I'll make a deal, probably $1,500. I just want you to grow. Because if we grow together, we go together. And I want to be on the summit with as many people as possible. It's crazy. We were on Mount Rainier, Craig. Everyone's like, hey, are you that group that all know each other? And I'm like, what does that mean? Doesn't everybody know each other? They're like, no. To get 8 people in a group, they go, all these groups don't know each other. Nobody's crazy enough, one, to do it together, but not to mention, nobody even knows 8 people. And I had a waiting list. I had Rainier ready people. And so I want to do life together, grow together, and go together. And I want to be on the summit. And by the way, if you have a group of 8, when you summit 3, then that means you feel like you made it too. We didn't all make it, including Robert. And so anyway,
no one made it.
No, 3 out of 3
made it. Okay.
Yeah, but everyone's summit was so different. You know, like for me, my summit was the preparation, getting 8 men together to do hard things. Like, hey, Craig, I got a really good idea, man. I need you to pay $7,000, go do type 2 fun for 7 months. And then I'm going to get on the mountain and we're going to probably enter like some type 2 and 3 fun. Yeah. And you're probably never going to want to do this again. And by the way, we have to tip them at the end, $400 a piece. Yeah.
The guy that walked.
Yeah. All the freaking young people that were zipping up the mountain being like, what's taking y'all so long? Man,
did you feel old?
It's
okay. I said yes.
Yeah, I felt like I didn't have passion for what we were doing. And I've talked about this a few times on my podcast as well. I 100% believe that you can't do anything more than about 80% if you don't have passion. I was physically as strong as any of the other people, like the guides, but I had no passion for it like these people did. So yeah, Amanda believed in me. I was like, hey girl, I just need some help. Can Contractor accelerate? And she didn't even ask what I get. I was like, I don't even know what you get. Can you just believe in me? And she's leaned in. So Contractor Accelerator and I are partners on it. And as she mentioned, it's the highlight of her week. And it really is. There are plenty of weeks I don't want to do it. I kick and scream. And then when I leave, I'm energized and excited and fired up. So
Mastermind is different than Purple Coaching, right? Like
it's Purple Coaching
together.
It's Purple Coaching's brand. I've partnered with Amanda and I'm super glad but yeah. And basically it's a low ticket entry. I mean, the reality is when I meet people and they want to get their business in a position to lead itself, like first we have to grow you or create self-awareness. And so what we found really is like, some people don't have time. They're like, I'm out of money. I need you to go beat up the bank, or I need you to help me restructure my P&L or teach people sales. And I can help people do that. But the reality is the majority of people just need small compounding growth, which is the mastermind. And then we're launching this 52 business basics, and all that's included. And then also the $2,500 includes Michael's doing a mastermind on outdoor construction as well. So we're going to have 3 1-hour calls a week. Some of them will be twice a week in case you miss it. For $2,500, it's like the cheapest investment to guarantee you'll get better at outdoor living. 52 business basics. I'm going to teach you everything I know about just like skills you need to be better in business. Even if you know them, I'll teach it back to you again on a basic level, or I'll teach your number twos who are now doing it. And then the mastermind. So we're going to do some really cool stuff because I've just been obsessed with this micro learning. And then like Amanda had mentioned, I mean, she leads it, and like, what better way to learn it, to teach it. And so anyways, yeah, so that's been a huge push for me, huge push. I'm seeing a huge return on that. And, so I can't wait to see where that goes. And I'm still doing like business coaching. Like I'm helping people with succession planning, and I help people set strategy and vision day and focus. But once we get businesses back on track, really, we just need to continue to develop people. The call I had today was $1 million call. There's no doubt. It was 27 minutes. He scheduled for 50. And I bet you I saved him $1 million in 27 minutes, but it had nothing to do with me. I just asked enough questions for him to say, thank you. I got clarity now. It's $1 million call. And
thank you. I'll call you back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we could go, that's a whole nother podcast. Holy cow. Yeah. What a great call. What a great call.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I wanted to ask you to, you're involved with a thing that I've seen you promote, $1 million blessing.
Yeah.
Or 1 million blessings.
Yeah.
What's a little bit about that, and what's the goal here?
Yeah. If you've ever said that you're inspired and you're not telling the same story year after year after year, you're probably just motivated, which is a burst of energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love Todd. Todd always leans in. He's a good cat. He always supports the emerging fence professional. He's a good cat. Or dog. Sorry. The cat is a saying, but no, we're dogs, D-O-W-G. But yeah, so 4.5 years ago, actually at an event that I'm going to in about 10 days, John Maxwell was talking to me and said, Robert, do you remember when you wanted to make your first million? I said, yeah, duh, everybody does. And I thought I was like, yeah, man, I felt like a hero. I had the answer. I was like, man, I impressed him. And he goes, do you remember when you wanted to give it away? And what was crazy about this is the questions that came after it weren't from him. It was from me. I started asking myself, how would I even do that? Would I be willing to do that? Do I have a big enough heart and a big enough wallet? What would this look like? When would it? And I started asking all these questions. And then I did what normal business owners did. Fuck it. I'll just figure it out. And so anyways, I've been on a mission. I've learned that a lot of it's not monetary. Like my son, for those who know what's going on in my son's life, my son doesn't need $1. He needs a hug. He needs somebody to lean in and tell him that the videos he made were super cool, or that his skateboarding technique is pretty badass. And so I think that the majority of our world actually need more time and attention than they do dollars. And so I'm gifting my time, I'm gifting my money, I'm gifting my resources, but I'm also using my microphone as a message multiplier. And so I talk about this all the time to just encourage people to just give with an open heart and an open wallet. And I mean, it's so addicting to give. I think the two biggest addicting things that I have in my life right now is giving and gratefulness. Like, talk about a great addiction. Like, what did you replace drinking with? Giving and gratefulness. You stayed there, Rob. And so I'm extremely grateful that I'm able to do this. I believe I love the Mexican fisherman's story. And for those that want to just live out that exact parable, great. But I believe that I was put on this earth to work 15 to 20 years in a skyrise in New York, as the parable goes, and have 100 Mexican fishermen's. I want to gift my time, talents, and treasures to others. And I'm in that season. So anyways, so yeah, I don't keep track of the dollars. Matt, Warren, and I are on a mission to tip till it hurts, which means that we're trying to get to 100% tipping. And boy, you want to talk about changing people's lives. We were at a fence show in Rhode Island, and I tipped till it hurt. I tipped exactly what the bill cost. It was, I don't know, a couple $100. I tipped a couple $100. And needless to say, we needed a favor from that server down the road, like later that evening. And we called in a favor. And not only did we get the favor, but we got the red carpet, but we changed her life that day.
Yeah,
we changed her life. And so, yeah, man, it's been cool. It's printed all over my wall. It's all over all my suit jackets. And I tell this story all the time because not only do I say it, but I live it. And a lot of people may have core values and mission and vision, but if you don't like actually live it, it's not really anything more than like a decoration.
So is the million blessings, is that does that go in with the whole lemonade stand thing, or is that something different?
Yeah. So it's make a million, serve a million, give a million. And so we are the founders of Lemonade Day. It's a national nonprofit for putting entrepreneurship in the hands of students. And I partnered with Fort Worth ISD. They got taken over by the state. And I partnered with some of the teachers that just basically were frustrated that the state was making decisions on behalf of local kids. And we had 416 kids participate in 8 weeks of entrepreneurship learning. And after that, there was probably, I don't know, about 100 kids that participated in the actual day of building the stand and everything. We did a stand day. We did a build day at Magnolia, or at my new location. And we built 40 stands. We had the Matt Swallow built these badass kits, and parents and everything. And I have a newfound appreciation. Like, I know people like, I can't believe your dad didn't teach you how to run a tape measure. Well, that same dad that didn't know how to run a tape measure probably is wondering why you don't know how to run a spreadsheet. So it's the same thing. Like, just because you know how to do it doesn't mean they need to. But what was really cool about all these walks of life, like this one gentleman came up to me and collapsed in my arms. This is a build day. He said, I served in the military for 20 years and I missed these moments. And I was lucky enough to have grandkids. And now I'm getting to do this with my grandkids. Thank you for creating the opportunity, because I missed this with my kids.
That's awesome.
And we ended up getting to take them to the mayors, and they were awarded different things at the city council meetings. And we took them to the manager's office of Fort Worth, which was freaking crazy. And we gave Entrepreneur of the Year, and we ended up donating a tremendous amount of money. And so, yeah, it was one of my give backs. So we only donated, I don't know, $10,000 maybe. Master Halco donated a couple thousand. Super cool. That was really awesome that they leaned in. The 10 grand wasn't, but Craig, I bet you we spent 30 grand of our time. Like,
oh yeah.
So anyways, super cool. And it's going to take off. I'm partners on one in Granbury. I'm not the founder. And we had 113 lemonade stands last May. And we did over, I don't know, $180,000 in lemonade in one day.
Yeah.
So pretty cool stuff.
It's funny because I think about you, not in a weird way, but I think about you whenever I go out garage selling with my wife, because I see lemonade stands and I'm like, oh, I was like, check that out. And then I always stop. And I'm like, sometimes it's some of the worst lemonade I've ever tasted, but I always stop because I'm like, dude, I got to respect the hustle, being out here doing this. Like, it takes so much to do it. And yeah,
I'm glad you did, because there were adults who were like, oh, I don't want any. I said, man, it's not about if you want it. It's the fact that you're telling the younger generation they don't want to work, and they're right here wanting to work. They need somebody to believe in them. They need the practice. And so as long as we continue to tell kids that they're not meaningful, eventually that will come true. And so I think we have a generation that wants to work more than ever before. We just got to give them the platform to do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. I mean, look at Twist. I mean, he's over there with a bunch of young guys over there. And I'm like, obviously they're out there. You just got to have them in the right situation, right?
Yeah. And he and I did a podcast, so launch in a couple of weeks. And it's all about consistency. I mean, there were years that it didn't work. There are years that it worked. There are years that you get knuckleheads. There's years that they weren't knuckleheads, and then their frontal lobes started developing or falling apart, depending on what it looked like. But man, not only that, Jared Twist, if you guys don't know him, oh my goodness, he knows how to also raise some daughters. He's got 3 of the best daughters. They're doing incredible things. They are going to be part of the reason why our world spins a little bit better. And Courtney is a huge part of that as well. And I just super love that they push each other to be their best selves every single day. And it's awesome, man. I got to spend some time in California with Jared just recently.
If you don't flip a Yui for a lemonade stand, you don't have a heart.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad that you called the Yui. I was like, what is that? Like, you nailed that.
Well, fun fact. So my nickname in high school was Yui.
Oh, okay. So
it's EU, and then everyone thought it was started with the U, so it was UE. And then when I'd score touchdowns, they'd say UE. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's
so, yeah,
awesome.
it's a fun fact.
Yeah, Mike, heck yeah, dude.
Always stopping.
Yeah, always.
You have to, man. You got to respect the hustle, and even when the kids like get nervous and stuff, it's you just tell them calm down a little bit, like it's okay, it's just lemonade, and then sometimes the parents like want to jump in. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
let them do it. They got it. So
yeah,
it's cool.
I loved every bit of it. Oh, there's Alfredo. There's the guy that we're talking about. If y'all hadn't had a chance to hear him speak, he's by far one of my besties. And how we met each other was in the right rooms, asking the right questions. So if you lack a circle of 5, I'm going to challenge y'all to ask questions that help you stand out and connect. And Alfredo asked a question at John Maxwell's home now about 10 months ago. And people tell me all the time, 10 months and y'all best friends? Well, when you're intentional with something, time no longer matters. And that's why I also don't like time management, is because it doesn't really matter. That we've seen each other more than I've seen pretty much anybody else in my friend list. But you've got to put in the effort, and you got to have things that you like doing together. I can tell you, Alfredo probably didn't really like climbing the mountain, but we just wanted to be in proximity. This dude's, he'll tell his story about being on the mountain one day, and it's freaking funny. He will be at the kickoff, and he's going to be telling his story. He's a phenomenal relationship coach, a phenomenal relationship and communication coach. And one of my favorite things that he talks about is if he can figure out how to navigate jail, then he can tell you how to navigate work and life. You think it's hard here? Go to jail where people want to kill you over something silly. So he has mastered suffering fools gladly. He has mastered suffering fools gladly. So. Yeah,
that's I've heard his name. It's a very unique name, right? It's hard to forget it.
It's Alfredo, like the sauce.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I love Alfredo sauce, so I'm just saying.
No marinara sauce in our family anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's great, man. We got some cool announcements, but he'll be there at the kickoff as well. And so it's going to be a good time, man. We actually at the kickoff, for those who have never heard about it, we do an annual kickoff, and we've kind of transitioned it to an annual leadership summit where we want to basically make sure that your leaders are fully equipped, they're energized, and they're ready to go. You can't go into a race with no gas. And so we want to make sure that you're pumped up and make sure that you're running in the right direction. We talk about like installing fence, for example, right? I hear efficiency all the time, and I'm like, okay, I get that. But effectiveness is substantially more profitable than efficiency, because you can be efficient at anything, but if it's the wrong thing, you just get further away from the right thing. And so I try and spend most of my time on effectiveness. Are you working on the right thing that aligns with your mission, vision, values? And you'd be shocked how few people actually are working on the right thing. And so we help set the vision for the year. We do a reflection on last year, what worked, what didn't, what we can't do, and what we can do. Again, who do we need to hire, stuff like that. And then day 2, we're going to go into breakout rooms where we're going to have some really intentional things where people don't leave with to-dos. They actually execute and get it done. And then they'll be in like little cohorts. So there'll be some follow-up calls to make sure that not only did you do it, but did you keep doing it? And I I've got Greg Kelly coming. Not many people know about this, but he was wrongfully convicted at 19 years old and took a 25-year sentence because he was not going to take a plea deal of 10-year probation because he did not do what they accused him of. If you have a chance, he's on Outcry, or you go look at Greg Kelly. He just launched a 2-hour documentary. But yeah, 4 years later, a man just said, he'd never done anything like this in his life before. He said, hey, I'm going to get this man out of jail. He should not be in jail. 6 months later, he's out of prison. So 4 years in prison at 19 years old. He was a star high school football player here in the DFW or in the Austin area. And he got out. He never lost hope. His family never lost hope. He married the woman that he was in love with in high school, that fought through all of the 4 years. Nobody lost hope. And then he leads with grace. And that's my theme for this year, is that if we don't lose hope, or we believe, and we give grace to ourselves and others, anything's possible. But the second you stop giving one another grace or yourself grace, you're hard on yourself to the point where you can't like get yourself out of your own hole or out of your own way, you're never going to get it done. So that's one of the things I do when I coach is like, hey, where have you lost hope? And where are you not giving yourself grace? Now, I know there's a fine line between grace and complacency. I know this. Yeah. And that's why it's good to have an accountability partner like a coach and have KPIs and goals and SMART goals. But yeah, I really want this, because if 31 years old, this guy can sit in prison for 4 years and get out. And I know what y'all are thinking. Well, he probably got paid by the state. I can tell you, when you come to my kickoff, he'll tell you how much he got paid. And I guarantee you most of y'all made more in college than he did when he got out, because he didn't want to fight the state for 10 years. He was ready to start his life. And so he's a great man, and he owns a mobile axe throwing company. So he's going to bring his mobile trailer down, and he's going to talk to us and pour into us and share why he's able to extend grace, even in a season of like frustration and anger. He does 100-mile ultras. He actually ran 100 miles around the jail that he was in. Freaking powerful. He said he's going to plant a flower in the grave that he spent 4 years in every single year for the rest of his life. So very cool. Very cool. So I would love for people to come to the kickoff. If you guys are like, I want to know all the details. I'm one of those people. I like to fill the room first. And then I'll curate the room for you. I've got enough experience. So I have 33 people paid and signed up. I have another 7 to 10 that verbals. You know how that works, Greg. I need 50 to, then I'll put the framework together, and 75 we're capping, and we're closing the doors. And I can tell you right now, you will miss out. This is a back of the room plug. You will miss out, because best friends were made out of this. Alfredo and I were in a different room, and we became best friends. Best friends were made. This is how Mount Rainier came about. I said, I'm going to Everest, and somebody says, well, there's levels to this. Maybe you should do Rainier first, which is equally freaking as hard, just shorter. And I'm in the best shape of my life because of that. I've got so many great stories of people that are profitable and stayed on track all year. They had the easiest years ever because they started the year the way that they needed to. And just all the resources we give leading up to it. And then afterwards, it's not just an event. We do a lot of calls in December, and we do a lot of follow-up calls in January. And then my hope is that you stay on the masterminds and all that. So that's the plug. It's $2,000 for an owner. It's $1,500 for an employee. It's super cheap. And if you can't afford it, then call me, and we need to talk about like what we need to really do. Mm-hmm. So, oh yeah, this is good. You can read that.
1 year ago, I thought I couldn't afford to go to Robert's event. I realize now, without waiting to be, or does that say waiting or wanting?
Without wanting
to be cliche, that I honestly could not afford to miss it.
Yeah, Alfredo not only has me as his best friend, but he has several other people, even on this call, as his best friend. He has a real tribe that's thriving and cheering each other on. Because life is freaking hard, and it doesn't actually get any easier, because if it gets easier, you're going downhill. I can tell you nothing nearly as good downhill.
Yeah.
So life's going to be hard.
Which I did want to say, and this is maybe a tough question, but I'm curious to know. Whenever you talk about purple coaching and mastermind and stuff, there's a lot of great success stories out of that, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have someone that you wish that you would have maybe touched a little more or helped a little more out or anything like that?
I think that what I know now, I could probably go back and do things slightly different. Craig, we worked together, and to be honest with you, like what I know now, I probably would have gone at it a different angle, but look at where you're at. You're better than where you started. It just didn't look like what we architect, but um so like you're one that I wish we had a bigger success story, but look at this, man. You have, I mean, a phenomenal podcast. You got tons of sponsors. You're able to leave your business and do what you truly love to do. And your business, you've got some of the same people that we helped get in place. And so sometimes success shows up long after we leave. James and Henry at H&S, I didn't move fast enough for them. That they needed me to move a little bit quicker, and I think some of the expectations just weren't very clear. But then I'm seeing that they're doing incredible things. And they jumped on and paid 3 spots yesterday for my annual kickoff. So maybe they just bought the wrong package, or maybe I did my job. They had one of the biggest sales couple months after I left there. So like, it hurts when you don't get to carry the trophy with them. But the reality is that's not my job. Yeah. I've also helped shut some businesses down, and at the moment it super sucked. But the reality is most of us actually never wanted to be business owners in the first place, but we just got tired of working for people that didn't appreciate us or had any real vision. And so I've got a couple companies right now that I'm working with, and I'm not actually working with them at the scale that we used to do in the scenario they're in, because the reality is they can only get a certain amount done in the time that's given. And so lots of success stories that I can pinpoint, but I can tell you that every single loss that they had or I had with them ended up getting a return on it somewhere else. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you got to carry your own bag. You got to carry your own bag. And if you expect to come to me and I'm going to just get you out of something, I can the first time, but the second time it's going to be even deeper because we didn't learn anything. Right. And I guess when you call a coach or consultant, you need to be as open and vulnerable as possible, because you can waste a tremendous amount of time having them guess. Yeah. And so if there's anybody that you're super vulnerable with, it should be with your coach and consultant. And if you don't trust them with that, then you really shouldn't trust them with the keys to your car. Yeah. So Matt Lowry, for example, I still coach him, and I mean, he's doing phenomenal. And he said, why would I change something up now?
He's on a whole nother level. Yeah, that dude might be one of the smartest people with AI that I know of. I mean, it's like he'll send me videos. I'm like, dude, I struggle to remember my password. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he probably has an agent to remember his password. And so we all need to be coached and mentored and led. I mean, think about Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. They all have coaches. Yeah. 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 Positive, negative. I love Ken. You know, he shows up in all the rooms, man. That guy is an absolute dog. He still dries out his meat though. It's a little dry. I'm just kidding, Ken. Man. Those are fighting words, man. You better be careful. Yeah. But yeah, no, man. So I can't think of anything that didn't get a huge return on failure. And obviously there's a cost associated with what I do, or Sean or Tony or whatever else. But if you're not willing to, if your dreams don't match your investment, then I mean, what do you expect? Right. And I believe that when you pay, you participate. At the end of the day, we all have gotten those free tickets to whatever, and we don't go because it was free, right? And so now we've tried to make it extremely affordable in some areas, like the Masterminds, whatever else. And so, like, if I look back on like even when we were working together, honestly, Craig, you probably would have benefited way more with the Mastermind, the 52 business space. It would have been a substantially probably cheaper buy-in, but we still had to get you out of something, and that just takes time. And we've gotten better at getting people out of situations quicker. I want to tell a story. This is completely off topic, but I want to tell a story of exactly why it's important to hire somebody that's been where you want to go. So my bank had a merger, and I imagine most people on here has had a bank that's had a merger. And if you've ever had to execute the merger, it's a pain in the ass. You have to redo things and reprint checks and yada, yada, yada. Well, this is what I did. I told my bank,
I said, hey, I believe that I'm out $20,000 in production, $20,000 of my payroll and the missed opportunities. And I'd like for you to pay me $20,000. And they go, well, we can't do that. I said, I've figured you'd say that. I'd like for you to take one of my secure loans that's a fixed interest rate, and I want you to knock it down a point for the next 3 years. And that will come up with about $25,000 because my 20 grand is accruing interest. And he goes, we could do that. So he took my $1.5 million loan, knocked it down a whole point for the next 2.5 years, and paid me back the inconvenience fee that I had. So if you guys aren't getting creative like this, it's because you don't know to even ask it. Well, somebody like a man in the arena that's been where you want to go, I can tell you these stories. Matt Warner talks about all these kind of stories. And so that's just one of them. I mean, I could talk about all sorts of different debt restructuring, cash conversion cycle. And so everybody comes out a winner at some point.
Yeah.
So,
I did want to go back almost to the beginning of this whole conversation. And if I heard you right, I'm very shocked of what you said. So you went to college for marketing, right?
Marketing and management.
And did you say you do no marketing?
Yeah, we don't do any marketing. Everything is, branding, like, we have everything. But yeah, we do not. Do we do? Y'all, let me make sure.
So hold on. So you're not doing Google LSAs, Google ads?
I gotta make sure. Okay, yeah, I can say it's Benji at Clever Fox. Loves using my website to show what it looks like to have organic traffic. My website produces about $13,000 in what would cost if it didn't have an organic build. And so I do not want to tarnish this like beautiful thing that's never had a PPC or an LSA or a Facebook campaign or whatever else. And so, yeah, we've never paid for marketing. I mean, we'll do some like charitable events and put like but we don't do that for the return. 72% of our business is repeat and referral. We pick up the phone, we thank people, we write people thank you cards, we drive. Matt keeps commenting. And I mean, listen, the best marketing you do is get reviews.
Yeah.
And I meet people all the time. They're like, oh, I'm doing PPC. I'm like, but you only have 19 reviews. Well, actually, Jeff Snow, he said, yeah, I've got this huge campaign and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, but you only have 19 reviews. You're wasting money. Even if they do call you, they don't trust you.
Yeah.
And now Jeremiah, he's figured out how to, like, he and I were talking the other day. He knows how to spend money to make money on marketing, which is great, but he hasn't been in the arena as long as I have, as well as I think he bought the business. So he had to basically tell his story as quickly as possible that, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. And over the years, Jared has matured. Jared's an incredible story. He was a freaking hothead. I was like, dude, I don't like you. And this is why, is because I was just like you when I was your age. And I told him that. I was like, hey, dude, you would be cool. I remember at FinTech, I was like, dude, in Nashville. And we become like such close friends.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like him.
Because he realized, he told me, Jared, I apologize if this is private, but he said, I just thought I needed to be one of the loudest people in the room so that way, I get to know people. I said, buddy, that was exactly who I was. I said, you carry yourself so well, dude. Like he carries himself with confidence and courage, but he also like is one of the most humble people to ask for help. And so anyways, Jared has got into all of our group friends, and every once in a while when we're gambling or something, we might yah a little bit. But Jared has figured out a way to spend money. And I know Matt Lowry too knows how to spend it, but neither one of them have been in business long enough to have the repeat and referral pay the bills, as well as like Matt's doing what he's doing with a team of 3. Well, I mean, you just don't have the simple resources the way that I have like 9 people with signatures. So that's 9 different people that can show up in different rooms, shake hands, thank people, pick up checks, do whatever. We've maximized our automations. If you guys are using Contractor Accelerator or any of the other CRMs, I mean, if you're not using your automations to be persuasive and persistent. And here's the thing, y'all, if someone's like, leave me alone, be like, hey, this world says that nobody wants to work anymore. And I'm telling you right now, I do. So don't fault me for asking for a little bit of work. But if they say screw off, you didn't have it at the beginning of the day, so who cares? At least now you know who you're not going to work for. And we constantly are reviewing our top 5, and this doesn't mean our top 5 like dollar clients, we review our top 5, and here's what I pick on my top 5. Everyone has their top 5 clients. I want the most extroverted clients on the market. I don't want like the introvert. You could spend less money with me, but boy, if you're allowed and everybody knows that you showed up or you're active on social media, you're my ideal client. Yeah. And so some of my best clients have spent very little money with me, but they're my greatest cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. And so how do I not have to pay for marketing? I got very clear with who we are. Our message is extremely short and precise. We don't say things like, well, you should pick us because of quality or some crap like that.
The value.
The value. Yeah. Because I've been doing this a long time or some shit like that. And so, yeah, no, I say, listen, this is one of the things I tell people. One of our best unique differentiators is we're unbelievably fast. And it's because we have overhead. I bought the building for you. I didn't buy the building so I could look cool. I bought it so I could move faster for you. I figured you wanted the material to be already in stock. I figured you wanted the team to have a place that they could load quick. And I figured that on the rain days or the bad days, the material is safe. So the reason I have overhead is because I care so much about you. I just hadn't met you yet. So by the way, if you want to, you can come by and the shop is yours as well. I just have to pay the mortgage. So Alfredo thought it'd be cool to send some stars. I don't know. So he's cool. He's fun. Yeah. Hey, Alfredo taught me this. You know what this is, Craig? That's a heart.
A heart. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in our Rainier pictures, we're all hearting.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
I would probably never seen that unless you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. You can. So yeah, I don't do any marketing, but I'm relentless. I love telling my story. I'm always in purple. Our trucks are lettered, including mine. I know there's some owners on here that don't have lettered trucks because they claim they drive like crap, or they, but the business pays for your car. And if you want to multiply your means or make more profit, you should probably put more stickers on your car. That's actually how come we're so fast on our race car. I mean, we knew that we were slow because we didn't have stickers. We got more stickers, we became faster. It's incredible how it works. So if you want to make more money, put more stickers on your car. So anyways,
that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Now if we could get some neon in the trailer, whoo, yeah, we'd be fast.
I was gonna go back to when you commented and said that, Matt and his 3 and your 9 being in different rooms. Is like with Matt and all of his AI agents, he's got like 37 people. Now, granted, they can't show up to a room, but
yeah,
he's got it figured out for sure. And I'm not telling you secrets, Matt. I won't share any of the videos or nothing, but
no, but here's the cool thing. Matt would share it because he's always a step ahead, but really Matt also wants to win with people. And if you have people on your heels, you always end up just doing more, bigger, faster, and stronger. And so Matt, while he's going to be in the kickoff pouring into himself and everything else, I know he's there to share with people, but we are going to help people discover these agents and what they really can do. But listen, for everyone who's racing to have AI replace certain things, I can tell you right now, if the process isn't clear to your employees, it will not be clear to the agents. And so the reason why Matt can use these agents so effectively is because he has a very clear and precise business with a 1, 3, 5-year goal. We helped him with all these things. He has KPIs he's been tracking for years. So the agents are using his data. See, everyone's saying that whoever adopts AI will win the race. That who adopts AI with their own data will win the race. And Matt, for 3 years, has been using our meeting software, which I'll tell people about, 90IO. And if you jump on and do it without clicking my links, that sucks because I get a little credit and then you get tagged to my account and I can cheer you on or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the reason why Matt can do this is because Matt has a really good, well-oiled machine. I think people are like thinking that AI is going to get them out of some hole. No, it's just going to get you further in the hole. So
I will say this, Matt just texted me.
What?
And he says, your boy running 12 agents right now.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, that's probably an agent that sent that.
I know.
Because I see that he's watching my podcast on Campfire Conversations too, which is probably another agent.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's why I make Matt Lowry meet me in person, because I ain't messing with the fake Matt Lowry.
I want to see you show up and eat some pancakes and some eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
So obviously you have your kickoff event. What else do you have going on?
So yeah, we have the mastermind that's weekly. We have the annual kickoff. We hadn't even talked about it. We bring 75 fencers to Coleman, Texas, every September. It's the 5th year that we've done it. And we bang up a bunch of doves, or some people call them pigeons, and super excited about that. It's been an unbelievable group of people that keep showing up. We sell out the day we leave. We have a waiting list of substantial amounts. So that's a huge thing that we got going on in September. I don't make any profit off of it. I just pass through whatever it costs, because I just believe in putting people in the room. It's different people too. Like, they're not there for leadership. They're there for Chilo and playing dice. I know some people on here are going. It stinks that Jared Myers can't. He had a wedding land on the same day. But so we got that going on. And then what's up, George? Freaking love that guy too, out of Cali. Man, he's got a cool story, dude. I've known him since he contacted me when they were having their first baby. He knew he needed somebody to walk with them, and he's a cool cat, man. And his passion and purpose is so cool. So, but yeah, so we got that. And then, man, I've got to do some heavy lifting. I mean, I'm not going to hide from it. I've got to get this divorce done. I've got to make sure that my son's in good shape. For those who know, I've got to just continue to just bless and pour into the people that have really been with me. We got to find the next Muskogee. So we don't have anything right now. I think we want to do some pretty cool whitewater rafting stuff. But it's going to have to look different than just like a 4-hour thing. We want to either do like a 5-day self-perform in like South America or something. So we got to find a new Muskogee. But man, we also are well aware that this has been another tough year. Even for those that are getting contracts in commercial, it's still tough because suppliers are out-resourced. There's tons of fragmentation. There's a lot of scatter focus. And so we just want to really remain available. Like, I have a lot of extra margin in my day to serve people. So we're not trying to overdo it. I got my campfire conversation deal. That's super cool, Craig. Oh, you're going to love this. My boy has gotten absolutely obsessed with video editing and all of this. And so when you talked about the YouTube and how you want to help me with that, my son, my 13-year-old son, is going to help take over the campfire conversations, and it's going to be his project, so that way he can work on something meaningful. And anyways, I'm really excited for you to give me some tips and then let him execute. And I know you've got the Nailed It production, so maybe we can do some cross stuff on it, because my son, I'm just doing it so he can learn. And anyways, the dove hunt, the annual kickoff. And then I do a lot of, for those who don't know, I do a tremendous amount of personal development, because what flows to me flows through me. My goal is to go and get all this information, filter it down to what people actually need. So I go see John Maxwell and the team in Orlando. And then I've got a high capacity leadership group. I'll fly straight to Franklin, Tennessee. And then I've got, I'm going to expand my reach. I'm going to go do some Tony Robbins stuff, because you got to be able to look on all sides of the card. And I dig everything that him and Ramsey, and I look at every leadership and I take what works best for us or me or whatever else. I go to Maxwell's house, his personal house. That's pretty cool. Do a lot of personal development and growth.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of traveling. You're living out of that suitcase now, huh?
When I don't have my kids, I'm on an airplane.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's
first
awesome.
class, actually, for that matter. First class. Yeah. For those that are listening. If you want to know how to fly first class and never have to pay for a flight, just call me and I'll teach you exactly how to do it. You can not only domestic, but I could put you international first class and you won't even know the points are gone. I've got 8 million points, and I pay first class for anybody that I know, and I'm unapologetic. And so anyways, and actually after sitting next to Paulie D for like 4 hours, the Cavs are here. Yeah, hell yeah, I would never pass up a chance to possibly
the
run
Jersey Shore guy.
I don't know who had more hair gel, me or him. That's
awesome.
I don't know if Evers is on here, but he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go DJ in a club in Albuquerque. I said, let me tell you about my DJing career, big dog. So anyways, yeah, lots of travel, man, but I do it in bulk now too. So that's something else. I don't come back to DFW. So like I'll go to 3 places and I don't miss a day or 2 on turns. And go back to like health and stuff. The way that I can travel the way I do is I pour into my health. I make sure that I'm eating and drinking and exercising so I don't get sick. I've got this great Jarman. I think everyone should have one of these. It has a body battery and it tells you like all sorts of different things. Like, and if your watch is telling you to jump, you just jump and it makes you feel better. It's incredible what this thing will tell you what you're not doing or doing. And I'm really focusing on sleep. I'm really, for everybody knows me, I've bragged about doing 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And my watch says that doesn't fly anymore. And so I'm really trying to work towards 8 hours of sleep a day right now too.
That probably sucked being around Alex, huh?
Well, yeah, dude. When we post this documentary, we're doing a documentary on our climb. This house sucked so bad. It was like the Blair Witch Project, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and like Scream. It was awful, dude. And the cleaning ladies, when we're walking, they go, hey, this is the kind of house that you clean and you don't know that you did anything.
Yeah.
Good. And so anyways, I couldn't even find Alex in there. There was like 30 beds and there was only 8 of us. But anyways, it was cool.
It made great memories.
Yeah, ish. But no,
somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, it was a good time. So
yeah. Well, Robert, I appreciate you taking the time on this Taco Tuesday to come on here and discuss, all the things that you have going on in your life and opening up there a little bit and let people understand you a little bit more than they probably didn't already know. But the one thing that you did leave out, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh man, I appreciate it. Yeah. So for anybody who wants to get a hold of me, it's robert@purplecoaching.com, or you can find us on all the socials, purplecoaching.com. As well as, man, it'd be awesome if people could go follow my YouTube, because Craig says it needs a little bit of work. So just look up the Purple Coaching on YouTube, hit subscribe. It literally does not cost you anything. Or just send me a text, 817-995-0394. My calendar is always got my availability. So for those who say I don't want to bug you, I promise you somebody else is. So it might as well be you. Jump on my calendar and let's get you unstuck. When you do not contact me, you'll always end up contacting me and it'll just be harder than when you should have. So jump on my calendar. I'd love to get you unstuck or cheer you on. I'm in a season where I just want to make sure that everybody wins together. And I also have a ton of great resources like the Amandas and Alfredos and the Matt Lowrys. And thanks to see Matt. Maybe that's his bot. He just shared the YouTube link. But yeah, so purplecoaching.com or Robert@purplecoaching, 817-995-0394. So thanks, Craig, dude. This has been a lot of fun. You've gotten so great. This show is, man, your questions, that's a gift, man, is being able to ask great questions and keep people engaged. And man, you are truly great at your trade. Great at your trade.
Well, I appreciate that. It's came a long way. I'll say that.
Yeah.
From where we started, but
that's a perfect example of small compounding. You didn't change anything major. You just kept showing up every single week and you didn't get discouraged. By the way, I'm really grateful for everything you do for the AFA. I know that you go above and beyond your commitment with them. I know that you care about honoring all the volunteers that pour in, like Ken and Shane and all the people that you have in your chapter. Like, you guys really go above and beyond. For anybody for less than $1 a day, you can join the AFA. Like, why wouldn't you do that? This is crazy, but whatever. So anyways, So
no, I agree with you, and not as me being good, but as $1 a day and stuff. But yeah, I appreciate the compliments and stuff with everything. So with that being said, too, I do want to let everybody know Jared was in here a little bit ago. Go check out his show. He did drop some awesome nuggets in there, so make sure you guys check that out. Download this one. If you're listening to the audio version, you can go to long form YouTube page and check that out if you want to see Robert's hair in person and stuff, and compare him to Pauly D and how you feel. So we'll see how that goes. But to all of you guys that are listening and gals, We appreciate you guys listening. And don't forget, go out there and be good human.
I appreciate you guys. Y'all take care.